Welcome to the Dingus Den, everybody, for a brand new video where this time we're talking about DCKO for the first ever Dingus Den Roundtable discussion. This is very exciting and great to have you all here, but without further ado, let's get into it.
Welcome to the Dingus Den.
All right. Well, welcome in. Great to have you all here. This is my first time talking to you all, meeting you all outside of Threads. This whole thing came out as an experiment where I posted the same exact post on both Twitter or X, I like to call it Twix, and on Threads. On Twix, I got a grand total of 2 likes on there, and then on Threads, I got you all reach out, got some other people, and yeah, it was cool to see us connect through there as I just started on there a month and a half ago, I think, maybe 2. And so I thank you all so much for coming by. And yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, man.
So let's go off and kind of just introduce each other, or introduce yourself. So, Dan.
So below me is Will. No,
it's well, let's see here on how it looks. Where I'm pointing here is Dan.
Oh.
Yeah, there somewhere.
I am Dan.
Not even gonna try.
No, other way, but yeah.
I am Dan from Dan Exclaims. I talk about television, movies, comic books mostly, DC comics mostly. And I'm known for being a very tame individual.
All right. All right. Over here, I have Blue Sirens Music. Introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Troy. I'm from the Bada Boom podcast. I also do music as Blue Sirens Music. But on the Bada Boom podcast, we talk about comic books. We interview comic book creators mostly. Every now and then we're talking about anime, what's going on in Marvel, but we mostly also just stick to DC as well, too.
Nice. All right. And down below me here, got Lore of the Culture.
So everybody, we'll be watching at Lore of the Culture on all platforms. I'm a writer, editor, and podcaster for blurredeyeview.org, where we talk movies, comics, TV shows, wrestling, and collectibles from a melanated millennial perspective.
Nice. Very cool. Well, let's get right on into this. First off, I want to ask a general question, right? With an event, there's always so much going on. There's obviously the main issues. Actually, I have them all right here. You have all the main issues, but then you also have a bunch of tie-ins. So I was curious, how much exactly did you all read? I picked up every single bit and I read it all in order of its release order. But what about you all? In the order that we did the introductions. Dan, did you read it all? Only the main books? What did you read?
I read all of the main books. I read all the 1v1s. I read The Kids Are All Fight, Boss Battle. I don't think I read Aquaman. I think I only read 1 or 2 of the Aquaman tie-ins. Not
sure.
I read Justice League Unlimited. Except I think I skipped over an issue. And I think what else? And then Titans I didn't read either because I read Titans 32 to see if Static was going to be in it.
Oh.
And Static wasn't in it. And I was like, oh. But yeah.
Sure.
I think that's pretty much most of DCKO I read, I would say.
Sure.
There's very little I missed, the Flash issues with Mark Waid. I gave those. I read the first one and I was like, all right, not reading the rest.
All right.
Yeah, I like Mark Waid's Flash. I'm like, I'm good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I picked up every 1v1. I think I maybe read 1 or 2, and then I was like, I kind of think the main DCKO ones. I also picked up Boss Battle. and the kids are all right. Most of the time with most of these, they kind of get spoiled online before I'm like,
True.
oh, let's pick it
Yeah.
up. So I'm kind of like, okay, there's other stuff that no one's telling me about. Like I'll read maybe those before that. Sometimes they get slipped underneath the pile further and further. But I read a couple of the 1v1s, I think only 1 or 2, and then I read all the main 5, and then the kids are all right. And then that was pretty much it.
Okay. What about you, Will?
I read everything.
All
I
right, there we
think in
go.
total it's 42 issues with all the tie-ins. I have some regrets. Aquaman, that whole thing could have gone.
It was weird.
I love the Flash. I was just like, what? They felt like side quests. They didn't feel like they really tied in to what was going on with the tournament. So it was like fun, but it also started to feel sort of like homework. Like I want to make sure I'm reading this just so I don't miss anything, but
Exactly.
ultimately didn't really need to.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I don't feel too bad about like not reading everything because I was like,
Right.
you know, what am I missing? It didn't feel like I was missing much.
I agree.
No, not too much. I enjoyed some of the side stuff, but absolutely.
I think the night. I really think that Night Fight was the 1 and 2 weren't but 3 and 4 were really good. I
Sure.
think.
Yeah, I did read Night Fight, and those I thought were good, but I also was like, you know, did we need it? Like,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
know Batman sells. We know Batman, and especially how it
Right.
ends. It's like
100%.
like I
especially
would
because like we knew that he was gonna lose. That why did we have this?
I don't
Why
know if he
did-
was going to lose, but I would have preferred if they had said there was like if they did a 5th issue and Batman's now facing Terry McGinnis, and it's
Oh.
like,
Mm.
and it's now like, okay, he loses to Terry, and Terry then
Right.
goes and says like,
Yeah.
hey, I know stuff from the future. Superman, you have to let me win.
Right.
And you know, then you can do something else different from there. But I was like, hey, if we're getting everybody, like, can we get Terry in here too? But
Yeah.
I think
Great idea.
with in regards to Night Fight, the fact that like they set up the story at the end showing you that like Batman wanted to like help every single one of his like the futures that were created. He wanted to fix each individual one, and they made you believe that somehow he was going to be able to fix all this. And like what I feel like the main detriment is it set up so much story, and then it was like, we're going to give you so much, and then it just went and it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? This just makes no sense now. This, you just were like, we're gonna send Batman on an adventure, and we're gonna collect so much money.
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly what it was. It's like, how
that's-
can we get a Batman title out of this? How do
Yeah.
we make people spend even more money?
Yeah. We'll make Superman will be the main character for the main book, and then we'll have Batman just be the main character of the other book. Nobody will ever notice. And those stupid influencers and informers will make all of the misdirection for us. They're sitting there twirling their mustaches, sitting there tying me to chain tracks.
Oh boy.
I mean, also the fact they made every Robin a big old thirst trap too. So
You know,
that's
did you
hilarious.
guys like the people are saying Dan Mora is drawing faces too similar to one another?
You know,
well,
who
aren't
the
they
hell-
all supposed to be like you're trying to make them all look like Bruce Wayne to an extent, so he sees himself in the younger Robins.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, I gotta
Mhm.
help him. So it's kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
if you made him look too far apart, he'd be like, how about, you know, it's supposed to be all in his head. So I think
Right.
mentally he's like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing my version.
Right.
The version
Yeah.
of me that I see in you is the strongest right now.
That
Sure.
Bat Box stuff was so fucking stupid. Like the fact that it's like we're done, right? We're just done. We're moving forward. We're moving into what is it? DC Next Level, right?
We will
Yeah.
delve into it at the end, but yes.
Matt
do it.
Fraction's Batman has not addressed any of that crap. So like this Batbox bullshit is just all of those people, they're dead. That's it. Batman's grandson, dead. Fucking dead.
They may have never even existed. So, you know.
I was about to say, that's how I interpret it. It was all non-existent stuff, and was it the Heart of Apocalypse or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's cold.
I mean, this might be jumping ahead a little bit, but they do say like at the end that Darkseid won in all the other universes, as they were all fighting for the heart.
Right.
Yes,
and this is the only one he didn't win. So it's like, open to interpretation, and that's where like we come in and we talk about that stuff, and it's like, oh, that fuels the industry and stuff like that. So
I mean, it's like, that's such a good point.
That is interesting. Lots to speculate on. But all right, next question though. We got a bunch of people in this. Like, we got this massive bracket here, right? 32 contestants. I think it was obvious that, like, obviously, Batman, like, we knew Batman and Superman would last for a while, right? But was there anybody in particular that you all were rooting for? Like, there were some great, I think, niche characters that was on this roster. So it was like, what's your thoughts on that, Will?
Anyone that I was rooting for, I'm not really sure I was rooting for anyone, honestly, until I think Luthor makes the point that he wanted to beat Superman because Superman was just going to put everything back the way it was. And like something like visceral in my gut was like, oh, that's exactly what he'd do. I'm still gonna have to pay taxes tomorrow. That sucks. I hate Superman for that. Like, it's just something made me think about the world outside the way it is. And it's like, you had the opportunity to get rid of all this crap and you just you would put it back, you Boy Scout. God damn. Like, just
all right. That's funny. What about you, Troy?
I mean, I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I was kind of voting for Green Lantern the entire time, and like when Green Lantern had his mashup with Superman, I was like, okay, we know how this is kind of gonna go, but let's see them put up a big fight. The fact that everyone's always like, oh, Green Lantern ring is the most powerful weapon in the universe, like, and they say that mostly just in the Green Lantern comics, but every now and then I'm like, hey, can we just like actually see him like destroy Superman a little bit? Like, everything that happens in Green Lantern, like the fact they're like, oh yeah, the blue rings heal a dying sun, and then you're like, yeah, but a Green Lantern ring can't do anything to like hurt Superman. It's like, okay, like we got some power imbalances here, I feel. So, but yeah, I was going for the Green Lanterns. I was hoping they would have a little bit cooler beat down a little bit. And yeah, Superman had a fuse with Shazam, his only weakness, to kind of like be like, all right, I can beat you guys. But still, it was like Superman probably could have beat them anyways.
Yeah.
And they weren't really looking like they were hurting too much. We got a cool moment with a guy saying, hey, I always pick my friends. But it would have been, the one thing that I thought would have been kind of interesting is like if there was an item that they just said, they kind of alluded to it. But I wish they had an item called a wild card or like tag out, where like if you're losing, you can tag someone in and then they take over for you, but they kind of have to do whatever you want for that round. And I think like that could have been like a cool way to say, hey, you know, Green Lantern keeps moving forward, but you know, eventually they get beat, but then they tag back in Superman, and then Superman's like, hey, guys, trust me, just let me do whatever I want. And then he kind of tricks them and he's like, all right, guys, like I'm back in the driver's seat. Green Lantern's officially out. And that could have been like a way to kind of like let some of these other characters that you're like, whoa, that was a big upset. Like they could have got that wild card or that tag in to be like, okay, we can shine the spotlight on Swamp Thing or whoever we want for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Dan?
So I'm on the record saying this, but the person that I wanted to win was Big Barda. Like,
I like it.
The reason I wanted her to win, right? Because like I went into it too. Like I did like a whole big like live stream where like, so because my main fucking problem, right? Sorry, are we allowed to curse?
You're good.
Okay, cool, great. The main fucking problem was the fact that they gave us that big, gigantic bracket and made us go like, "Oh, you're gonna see fucking Red Hood fight Damien, and you're gonna see like Captain Atom is gonna fight Superman." You're like, "Oh, cool." So we're gonna get like a nice like you're gonna see like maybe like a quick little like 80-page like thing of people fighting, and like maybe some people get washed and some people don't get washed, whatever. Some people get a one shot, some people don't get a one shot. No, the DCKO #1 is gonna see the Joker steal the Atom's belt and climb into Big Barda's brain and give her a good old identity crisis. Like that was, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there goes my like. I just felt like the person that goes to like the horse track and is like, damn it, and then just walk away. Like it was, I am like I felt like Grandpa Simpson when he like the meme where he like walks in, puts his hat and his jacket on, and immediately puts it on, and like walks right back out the door. It was rough picking Big Barda, but I felt like it was like the logical pick. Like Wonder Woman literally says it too at the end of like the final when they're going to the final four, or it's 8-4. She's like, "Why did you choose me?" And she's like, "Well, you know the most about Apocalypse, and I need to learn about Apocalypse. So I need you to tell me what's going on and how things work there, and how gods and godhood works on Apocalypse." So I was like, okay, that's like the viable reason. That's why I wanted her to win in the first place. But that wasn't the case. And the worst part about it was the entire time I'm just sitting there going, yeah, Superman's going to win. But what if Big Barda won?
Sure.
Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? Yeah. I go, but Superman's going to win. But what if Big Barda won? Meanwhile, everyone in my comments, because I made the mistake, right? There was Scott Snyder did a podcast with Casualty Comics. And him and Sasha had a great conversation, and one of the points that they touched upon was Snyder wanted to do the wild card, right? But the wild card was going to be a fan vote, and he wanted it to be that somebody could have voted for anyone in the DC universe to go in and be the wild card fighter, the hidden fighter to come in and maybe be the person that wins it and goes on to fight DCKO. To win DCKO and become King Omega. People like in my chat were like, we should get Nightwing. We should try to vote Booster Gold in. If Booster Gold is Darkseid, we should try to find a way to vote Blue Beetle in and get Ted versus Booster at the end. Like that, there was like so many, and that made me so sad because that was the first time. Like I now read a lot of comics because for the past like 2.5 years, I've been making videos now every single day. Prior to that 2.5 years ago, I really didn't have the means or the time to read comics. It's only at that point when I got fired and I sat there and grew my hair out to the point where I was looking like a homeless person. And like, then I started reading comics again. So I didn't know enough and know like much. But so DCKO is kind of like the one thing that I could say, like, I feel like I fully know. And this was just for me, man. I felt like a fucking strikeout and a half. It's just Big Barda.
I did.
He's not frozen.
No.
Yeah, I love the inclusion of so many of the different smaller characters. Like, I love the fact that he didn't last long, but I love that Starro was there. Like you just don't get to see too much of him, and like you got other cool like niche characters like that.
Jarro, that's what I want to know.
Exactly, that's what you need more Jarro. When are we getting more Jarro?
Right, where's like half the Robins are missing. Like Jarro's missing, Duke is missing. Like, come on.
That's funny. But to answer the question of who I was rooting for, it's funny that you mentioned the Big Barda one with Joker, because I would be rooting for the other side of that. And I personally love how far Joker actually made it, because like Joker's like, he's my personal favorite villain probably of all time. And so like, he has his cool bits in it, and there's cool
Joker has the most believable moment in the entire like series.
Yeah.
And then he looks at absolute Batman and just goes, I'm on your side.
Yeah.
That was great.
Me and you, we out. Power demon me. let's go. And then like they're like, that's you can't become King Omega anymore. You're like, yeah, I know, I ain't fighting that fucking thing. Like, let's go. And then it was, I get to chop off a Superman's head. I'm down with that. And then Batman comes back and right through the chest. Like, that made no fucking sense because he killed the Joker. Batman, like, I don't care. Oh, I turned him into stone. Batman killed the Joker. Killed the Joker.
Guess he's okay with it being pretty fatal, or not pretty fatal, but like harmed him a lot, because that's the reason why they're saying Joker's now bloated and Batman now. So
is that or is it because of Hush too?
Don't
get me started on that.
Or not. That's what Matt Fraction said though, just recently.
Yeah, and I'm sure Batman's
okay.
I'm sure Batman's like, look, if I win, I can just recreate everything. Then it's like, all right, it's fine. Like,
right.
I can kill him. It's the means will justify the ends is eventually for him if that's the path he's going to go down. But yeah, I liked DCKO. I don't think we needed to have so many like spin-offs and tie-ins
at all.
But I do think it would have been a cool opportunity to be like, hey, let's get some other people that you probably don't think would win in the winning seat, and then kind of like go from there. Like when I was like really into Sonic comics, there was like this one comic where Tails essentially rewrites the entire universe and then makes everybody forget that he rewrote the entire universe. And it's like, oh, only two people that like were currently outside of the timeline like know this. And so they always are like, they address Tails before they address Sonic in any situation. And so it's like, oh, that would have been kind of interesting to be like, hey, someone that's like not super powerful, that hasn't been in this tournament at all, what if we threw them in? And maybe that's like the Scott Snyder vote. If I was like, hey, what if Roy Harper jumped in and he's like, hey, I'm the guy that's like now deciding the fate of things. Like, who's gonna know what he's gonna do? You know, he's just such like a far out there character that you can really create interest around a character that not many people have heard about, and really get people like, oh, I didn't know he was an addict, and that he's still dealing with like being an addict in the current Green Arrow run. Also, that run was not selling well, so like that would have been the easiest way to infuse some money into it.
Right.
Yeah. There's a couple of mainline comic books right now that aren't really doing as well as they should be.
Current state things are in, I suppose. All right. Next thing is what about like particular favorite moments or matchups? For me personally, this was one of my like favorite moments in the whole thing. If not, maybe my favorite. I don't know if I could call this my favorite issue. If it's not, it's very high up there though. Just like I was not expecting how great Superman against Captain Atom would be, and it was. I really liked the dynamic of this whole fight. Like, it was awesome seeing Captain Atom push Superman in different ways, and so. But yeah, it was a lot of fun this issue. But was there any moments that you did love? Any rounds that were like, oh, this is like my favorite matchup? Will?
I think of Luthor versus Etrigan.
Oh yeah,
just for the way that wrapped up. I think that fight really sold me. Like I'm locked in, because it's like, oh wow, there really are no rules. They're really opening up the sandbox and doing whatever with these characters,
right? And
we're going to see some really super creative variants and possibilities, and also just that whole between rounds you're picking a new variant of yourself from the multiverse and all that. It was like, this is going to be such an amazing experience.
Yeah,
I don't know if it landed there for me, but that fight in particular, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Sure. What about you, Dan?
I think my favorite one was see, my knee-jerk reaction immediately went to Joker and Red Hood, just because I liked the Red Hood, the Robin Get Back.
Yeah.
when he beats him to death and then blows
That
him
was
up. That was like that was cool for me. It's yeah, I probably have to go with that one because that's the one that jumps out to me the most. I really
Mhm.
the Harley Quinn one, the art was great. But like the actual story, the
Hmm.
ending, I feel like the endings to every single one of them fell flat for me. But if I was gonna go with the best one that gave me like,
Mhm.
if Cyborg had picked himself in Teen Titans, or like Zatanna had chosen herself from Young Justice,
Mm,
those were like ones that would have like
Mhm.
slingshotted them in front. Instead, like Cyborg got cocky and chose himself and
Mhm.
stuff like that. It's like super like Swamp Thing chose like Swamp Thing Blue and like Swamp Thing Red. When Swamp Thing should technically won the entire fucking thing. Like that's how strong Swamp Thing is. I started reading Alan Moore Swamp Thing. That thing is he's fucking insane. Swamp Thing is insane. It's baffling what they do, how nerfed he is right now in DC. But
Yeah,
uh,
sure.
yeah, I probably Joker redhead.
That was one of those issues for me personally. I was like, I was really anticipating it, and then I don't know, maybe I just had too high expectations for it, so like it didn't quite land where I wanted it to personally. Um, I also kind of found the ending a little confusing. Like I had to do a double take on that
Oh, yeah.
ending to like make sure I understood that right, and I still didn't even fully understand it.
I
And so,
mean, it was so dumb. Like in the minute that they were like, I saw like the pacemaker, pacemaker, on the Joker's heart. I was like, I can't believe, like, I get it. I think my video when I said, I go, I get it. Funny, haha, man sells more books, but this
right,
is bullshit. I
right.
was like, but this is some bullshit right here.
I definitely felt like that could have been elaborated just a bit
I
better.
like, I remember like finishing the book, looking at it, like, I was like just straight up staring at it, like, did I really just?
Sure.
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, I'm with you.
Word, all right.
I think I got to the end of that and I was like, oh, that was amazing. And then the next time the Joker pops up, I'm like, wait, what? And then I had to go
Yeah.
back to the book and read it again. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I see what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. And then you find out it's like the Joker's cheating. That's why it's so strong. It's like, what the fuck out
Right.
here?
What about you, Troy? For favorite moments or
I really liked Guy versus gosh, why not Guy versus Jay. That was really good. I
Yeah.
thought, like, seeing them kind of be like, which forms they're gonna take, and which, like, Guy kind of like exploring the different sides of himself a little bit. But I mean, those are two characters I'm like, hey, whoever wins, I'm still gonna like be a fan of them and like them. And I also feel like Guy Gardner's kind of had his own time in the spotlight lately, especially in like DC movies right now. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't really matter to me like who wins or who doesn't win, because like whoever's gonna go on, like it's still gonna be like something I'm gonna read and want to read. But for me, I was like, that was a good fight to read. But I feel like everyone else is like a little more upset about the fights that they saw.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably like my biggest criticism of the event was like a lot of the fights were predictable. I mean, like I mentioned it earlier, like I figured Batman or Superman at the very least would make it all the way to the end, and I figured that he was going to win it anyway because it's Superman, right? And so, but I do wish like some of the matchups were like a little more surprising, even with the same like end result of like Superman winning, because like it's not always about how it's what's the phrase? It's like it's about the journey and not the end.
Yeah. I think at least giving us fights that were a bit more like truly believable, like Zatanna and Harley. that could have gone either way.
Sure.
Right? Like you could have picked up the most believable one that I'm actually taking mine back. My favorite one was the molly whopping, ass beating, slap dicking, fucking dog walking, ass beating of the century that Aquaman gave Hawkman.
That was
Because
great.
that was a 2-0 victory. He beat him senseless and I'm pretty sure he didn't even change his form. He was like, bro, that's what bothers me and really bothered me about Aquaman in DCKO is that like he's now the avatar of the waves and Aquaman.
Sure.
He's so obscenely strong that he has magic that could kill Superman. So
Mhm.
to see him get his ass beat, like he should be able, like what he could do, you saw him do to Hawkman. And Hawkman is like a fighter. He's not like he's not bitch made by any means, but he got his ass whooped. Fucking kicked. It's the only 2-0 in the entire every single other one went to either like a rubber match or, you know, that was, yeah, I think pretty sure every single one did all 3 rounds except that one. That one was 2-0.
Yeah.
Fuck Hawkman. Actually, yeah, you know what? Fuck Hawkman. Fuck the Thanagarians.
I think that was
Careful
always
too
gonna
much.
be,
All hail the Reach. No.
I think that was always going to be an issue with this concept is the power scaling and wanting to see these characters really like just cut loose and unleash and see how they operate at the top of their potential. You wanted it, you felt like it should happen, but I think deep down we all knew that we weren't going to get that sort of dream scenario that we really wanted.
Sure. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that's like it's such a tall task and it's hard to do. You know, like I still enjoyed. I mean, I thought it was really good overall. We'll talk about that, but it's just, you know, I don't know. I think at some point you have to be open to like what they tell you. You know, like nothing is ever going to be exactly as you want it to be, and so yeah, I just wanted to say. Some things be done a little more though in some cases though. And so speaking of that though, what would you all have liked to see done a little bit differently? And we've kind of already touched a bit on this, but like anything specific, like if there was one change that you could make, what is that one change that you wish was better or could have been done better? Well, Troy.
I mean, I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch. I'm throwing just random stuff out there, really, but you know, we got a lot of cool stuff, like, you know, like in boss battle, like people from different universes and things like that. But I think we could have also just, you know, again, highlighted more characters that people don't really know too much about. Like, what if when it's like down to the final 4, they're like, okay, you guys are now going to fight a team from the entire DC universe. Like, Wonder Woman's going to go fight the Doom Patrol, or you know, I don't know, Superman's gonna have to fight the Titans, or someone's gonna fight the Justice Legion or something. But like there could have been opportunities where it's like, hey, if you're really gonna be that badass, like you're gonna take on more than one person all by yourself now, and you know, highlight more things inside of the DC universe. And I get like, you know, that's maybe isn't the thing that they're trying to do. They're like, hey, we have a point we're trying to get to, and we can't grab everything and kind of just throw it against the wall and see what's cool. And like it, like we got to make sure whatever we're doing is building to this one point, which it was a little bit of a disappointment in my opinion, but like I kind of feel like we were getting there anyway with Next Level, which we'll talk about later. But you know, I think we could have done again more to highlight unknown characters or highlight people that like weren't inside the brackets. People in the brackets already got their time and moment in it, and you could have brought like other DC properties in, just like how they brought everyone in with like boss battle. You could have brought other people in and been like, hey, you guys are now going to fight the Doom Patrol.
That's a good idea. like that was like my kind of big gripe is kind of like along the same lines, and I mentioned it earlier of just like we had so many great people there. Like I think even with the 32, like if we only focused on and not brought in anyone else beyond that 32, I still felt like that 32 was a solid overall pick of fighters. And so just seeing some of them, like I wanted some to just last a little longer, and even have like maybe even just like one surprise pick of who's in the final four, right? Because obviously it's going to be like, oh yeah, duh, Superman. If you're going to have Superman there, of course it makes sense for Lex to make it there with him, right? So we'd have the main one there, and you know, having the Trinity there, it's like sure that makes sense, but just having like I don't know, like what if Guy made it all the
Plastic
way?
Man there or something.
Oh, Plastic Man would be great. All right. What about you, Dan, as far as like one thing that you wish was just done differently or better?
Honestly, I think mine's a little bit more targeted towards the team. And I hate to be that person that calls out editors, but like the structure of DCKO was bad, and it had a terrible ending, and I feel like that fish rots at the head and went down, and the editors told writers what they could and couldn't do, and that put handcuffs on like people, and they didn't properly like communicate with each other. Like it was marketed as an event by Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder, but not once did I think that those two were writing a story together. I clearly knew when something was written by Scott, and I clearly knew when something was being done by Joshua. Like that was, and I guess like continuity would be like my main gripe, and I understand like being like the person that like tries to really stay on continuity, like in comic books. Like no, it's very simple. You have one event, right, and your event is only 5 issues, and you put these red wraps on Superman. So you tell every single one of your writers that is writing Superman that Superman is now wearing these red wraps on his hands when he's fighting. So you don't look like a fucking moron when one day it appears and then the next issue it disappears and then bounces back and forth. Like at that point, you just look like you're not paying attention, and you're just not doing a basic thing of picking up the phone and going, "Hey, we have the word here 2 times, and we have 2 spelling errors in the same page." And I'm that type of guy where like that'll take me out immediately. And I get like that's like really fucking nitpicky and really kind of fucking stupid to like turn you off from something. But it's just me, and that's why I don't really talk about that on my channel and stuff like that. I don't really go into like that type of shit.
Sure.
But like if I pick up a book and within the first 3 issues, or you pick up your first issue within the first 3 pages, I know spelling errors. I notice the spine of your book is poor. I notice that pages are printed out of order. That tells me you don't care. Like the end of the Kids of All Fight, there were people, I was going to the comic book shop and there were ends of the page where like there was no dialogue on it. There were pages that were reversed. There were staples falling out of the spine. They were all cheaply made. And that's something too. Like we have to talk about that. Like that is a piss poor product that I just picked up and I spent money on that just fell apart as I was reading it. Literally fell apart as I was reading it. Like that's just that made me like the most mad was how it felt like from marketing to the actual like workings of the book. The first quarter of it was good, and then the rest of it was like someone taking diarrhea into a fucking tennis racket.
All right.
Dan has a way with words.
Sure does. Oh, all right. I was about to say, how do you want to follow that up, Will? What's that thing that you wish was done differently?
I honestly, I think the DCKO and seeing the bracket, it gave me an immediate idea of what was going to happen, and I don't think that they delivered on that idea. I just expected like a pure March Madness. This round, these people fight. This round, these people fight, and we're just going to whittle it down until it's a 1v1 at the end. And the fact that there were so many tie-ins, as opposed to like you get a KO book and then a round of books of fightings, another KO book and a round of books of fighting.
Simple.
That's what I was expecting. That's what I
Mhm.
wanted. And instead, I feel like I got like lots of filler episodes. Like, here's
I
this
would've bought
other
that.
stuff that's going on outside the tournament. Like, no, the fate of the universe, everything is happening here. Stay here. Stay with this story.
Sure.
And
No,
I think
Go on.
the highest level of festivity was the boss fights,
Boss
Oh,
battle?
yeah, boss battle.
because that that should not have been one issue. Like Superman versus Homelander, give me that
Sure.
book. Like
3 panels.
yes.
Yeah.
The fact that they tried to wrap all of that up in one book was just a waste of an idea to me.
That's
That's all they
fair.
paid for licensing wise.
That's what I was saying. Like all they pay for licensing was, but all I thought about was, I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Down to Earth with Chris Rock before. But it's like essentially he's like a comedian that dies and comes back, and he has like a moment where he's like, "I know you're there, I know you're there," on the phone where he's talking to somebody, and he scares the shit out of somebody. And all when I was reading Boss Battle, and the Joker was sitting in front of Annabelle, and he was like, when she like moved a little bit, that's all I thought about. The minute he snapped at her, he was like, "I know you're moving, I know you're moving." I would have read 15. You could have given me a little ash can, 7 issues of the Joker being terrorized by Annabelle, and I would have ate
Oh,
that
gosh.
shit up.
That would've
Ate
been
it
great.
up. Like the Joker in a haunted house. How do you not? How have they not capitalized that on Halloween yet? Like the Joker wants to set up his building, and he sets up his Joker gang inside of this house, but it's a haunted house, but keeps on killing the people in the house. But he doesn't want to sell it because he loves the fact that he lives in a haunted house. It would be literally like that fucking writes itself.
Oh,
Fucking
man.
writes itself. Joker in the haunted house. Give me
I
the money. Just
Love
fucking
that idea so much.
Paramount bought it. Saudi Arabia. Give me money.
Wow. That would have been so cool to see. I like that. You know, like I personally didn't mind. Will, you brought up the point of like there was all these, these events that take place outside of the KO, and I didn't mind seeing the like those parts of the world. I just kind of wish that they could have like mattered a little more. Like
Yeah.
at the end of it, right? Like Titans had this whole Gym World storyline, which I did not care for at all, any of it. But like seeing the Titans having to deal with like what Earth became during the events of the like arena and all the fights, like I thought that was cool. Like I liked seeing that aspect. Like same thing kind of like with the Justice League Unlimited plot is like, don't get me wrong, like I really like Mark Waid, but like that thing was like I wish we could have gotten to see, or just trying to like I didn't completely understand their mission the entire time, but like I mean it's kind of a cool interesting journey I guess, but like I don't know, just a better way to connect them by the end I guess.
Yeah, I think I don't want to jump on any sort of hate bandwagon, but I think it feels a
Right.
lot of like where we are with the MCU right now,
Sure.
where maybe first 3 phases, everything felt a lot more connected. And lately, we've been getting cool projects, but I don't get a sense of how they necessarily tie into everything. And that was sort of the heartbeat, the engine of those first 3 phases. And I think that's sort of where KO landed with me as well. It's like I liked some of the stuff that was going on outside the tournament, but it didn't actually feel like it was central or essential to the tournament. So even when we came back to the main tournament, it was just like, okay, cool. I'm glad I read that.
You know what was interesting is when I think about what you just said, I actually probably enjoyed Absolute Power more than I enjoyed DCKO because Absolute Power felt smaller,
Sure.
but more intimate, I guess. Like Beast World was kind of ass. That was just kind of it was the best part was when Beast Boy turned into a Starro. But like Absolute Power wasn't, the tie-ins were good. It really like had high stakes, but like I hate when like big events like, and I don't know if this is Snyder because now I feel like this is the second Snyder event where the entire Earth gets destroyed and then has to be reset by someone in the Trinity turning into a god. Because the last time was during Death Metal, the Earth became the hellscape and it was shaped like a bat. And like that's the second thing that's happened now. And now people I've seen like on Reddit and stuff, people are very adamant that the Absolute Crisis, that Snyder is not leading the Absolute Crisis because they didn't like how DCKO ended. And I'm a fan of Snyder's work. I love Absolute Batman. I ride or die for that fucking book. And some of his New 52 and pre-New 52 books for Batman were very good as well. I like some of his indie work, The Wake. I love that book.
Oh, it's so good.
Him and Sean Murphy, but like I don't think they've been on a book since. But it just feels like sometimes people, and like I think that's probably just like the hardest thing to do, right? Is your ending. How do you end something?
Right.
My writing technique, what I was always taught is you're supposed to think of like a newspaper headline, and that's the end. Like think of like how your film would end and put that on a newspaper headline. And all you have to do is get to that. That's all you have to do. Get to that moment. So it's like Superman wins DCKO. How do we get there? We can do everything we want. And the problem is like it feels like a wrestling work. And I'm a fucking mark.
Oh, that's fair. I personally enjoyed the journey, like on the way there, despite having things of being like, well, like you could still have adjusted this or that, just kind of depends. But I think that's absolutely fair though. Speaking of that journey too, though, and keep on going back to how there's all these fighters. Who is like one niche character that you just love that you would have loved to have seen in that fight? In 32, and possibly even progress a bit far.
Are you talking about boss battle?
No, I just meant in general. Like we got the big 32 bracket of characters. What's one character that you wish was there?
Oh, that was in the bracket.
Like anybody, and that wasn't in the bracket. Who would you have liked to have seen involved in the actual tournament?
Ted Core Blue Beetle.
That's a good pick.
Just because.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think it'd be funny. He'd lose.
Well, yeah.
He'd lose. Still be funny. Because it would be funny. Because he's like, I don't know. The fat, quirky dude. Love him. I mean, he's not fat. They've redacted it. I always say Ted took Ozempic, but
I just had the absolutely random idea of how hilarious it would have been to have Ambush Bug involved in this.
Ambush Bug was the wildest character to pop up, man. I don't think anybody even knows who fucking Ambush Bug is anymore.
No, probably not. But still, it would have been great to see. I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
Ambush Bug feels like a Stan Lee character. If you would have put him in Marvel, people wouldn't bat a fucking eye.
Probably not. What about you, Will? Anybody that you would have liked to have seen involved in the tournament?
Just a bonus one up front. Since we were doing all of the crossover IPs, like finally give the nerds what they want. Give us Goku versus Superman.
Oh my gosh.
If you're going to just make everything like 5 panels anyway, just throw it in there. but a more sincere one, like Static. I was
Sure.
very excited when he showed up. I've read the Dakota incident and everything that happened there. That was another sort of like waste. It feels like showed up
Right.
for like a couple panels, and not even necessarily in this new Titans lineup.
Static
Uh,
Shaka.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, if he could have done anything more, I'd have loved to see that.
No, he's just gonna take out a general Darkseid's army and then just disappear.
It's just
Uh,
all right, guys. I'm gonna go do my homework or something now.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry. Like you could say that you have like DC could be like holding the fact that they have a Static book coming as much as they want. They could say like the fact that the next issue of Titans he wasn't even in it.
yeah, that was a big
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Try to tell me that you're trying to save money without trying to tell me you're trying to save money. It's like we can't. How much do we got to give the McDuffie estate every time he's on screen? It's like $200. Like fuck, all right. Per issue. Fuck, all right. Like that's it's like yeah, motherfucker. It's like give them their fucking money. Put Static Shock in the fucking book, or put Static in the book, and then just fucking stop. Big shitheads. The fucking book sells. It will sell. People will read it. Read Shadows of Dakota. It's really good.
So, this one of the things about this event is I was kind of, I mean, I guess I don't know what I was expecting from the ending. Like 5th issue going into it, I was kind of spoiled on it right away because it's the internet. But like at the same time, I kind of wasn't sure what to expect going into 5 at all, and I like that because it's like they could have done anything at the end, but
Yeah, Mr. Miracle could have showed up and stole the whole thing.
you could have.
That would have been better than the fucking ending.
Oh, actually, before I get to that point, Troy, who would you have wanted in to?
Oh, I was gonna say Mr. Miracle. Like, I think that
Yeah.
would have been like a cool little thing of like,
Yeah.
hey, like he's not dead, but he's just like, hey, I'm gonna like hide somewhere and come back
Yeah.
at the end, and that would have been like like him or the Question if they would have been the ones that like faced off against each other, and the Question's like, I'm gonna kill you, but I know you're my backup plan if something else happens.
Okay.
Then like the Question moves forward, it is out instantly, but Mr. Miracle is somehow like bargaining with the Dark Heart or the Heart of Apocalypse to be like, hey, you really want me to win. I'm just going to take this. And then, that's a whole other confrontation that happens later on.
Yeah, I like
Well, yeah,
that.
because isn't she like she's on the Watchtower, right? The Question at that point in time. Renee is she's on the Watchtower because she's.
I think she is that current version. If we introduce like I don't know,
like Vix Age
versions,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, the different versions we are on the Question, I'm thinking more of the Question from like Justice League Unlimited or the one that's currently in Batman Arcadia. That one because but like any Question would have been fine. Just to be like, hey, but they have to be a little bit more experienced, I think, than the one that's currently on the Watchtower to kind of pull that off a little bit. But that would have been a more fun twist of like, oh, I have to go back and read this issue than what you guys were talking about with like the Joker and Red Hood of like, oh, you didn't want to go back and read that one, but I would have gone back and read, oh wait, did the Question let Mr. Miracle live? Did he fake his death in some way to like now come back at the end? That would have been like a cool little circle back. But yeah, that's who I would have picked up, and I think that could have led to
for sure.
Yeah, but again, I think Dan, like what Dan said earlier, of like, hey, Superman wins DCKO. That's your title at the end.
Yeah.
When you get closer and closer to the end, you're like, there's less and less stuff that we can allow to slip through the cracks, and it has to become a lot more predictable if we want to get what we want it to end. If we want to get to end that way.
Yeah,
sure. So, back to what I was saying before I accidentally skipped over you. It's all good. we had this big final issue, and I had no idea what to expect from it. Like the way that issue 4 ended, I thought was awesome. Like, oh, like Lex, is it? Okay, cool. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. But and then ends up ending of like DC doing as they do another Crisis, and does that are you excited for this Absolute Crisis at all?
I'm more excited for what's gonna happen in next level. Like,
Sure.
I think in the end, when everyone kind of gets infused with Omega and Alpha energy, like there's some people that weren't in the tournament that, did those people get infused with it as well? Are they going to be weaker than the people that were in the tournament? Like, how are we going to like address that? Are all those people going to die really fast later on, and then it's the same people fighting in the end? Like that imbalance of energy is more what I kind of hope we explore a bit in next level.
Sure. Yeah. Will, do you have anything that you're like? Did it excite you for more of what's to come?
Let me revisit it in my brain really quickly. I think initially I was like, God damn it, another Crisis. Like it's just
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's sort of where I landed. Like Superman becoming, I don't know, like Neo, he joined the singularity or whatever happened. And I was like, okay, all right. He became God, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Then he like, I have something to do. I'll be back. Like, what? Okay, cool.
What?
Yeah, and everyone's like, was it Batman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor all standing there, just like,
Yeah.
good job, guy. Like,
Well,
just like, this is kind of weird, isn't it? And then the sort of teaser into the Absolute. I'm not all caught up on everything Absolute, but I understand that those books are like flying. What I have read, I've loved from all of the titles. Maybe not so much the Flash, but I'll pick back up and, and figure out how I actually feel there. I don't want this to mean that those days are numbered for this universe. It seems like it's good and people are loving it. I don't want to just trash it because it's time for another reset.
Yeah. Well, by how it's sounding, it sounds like that it'll be safe for a while, but we'll see. Hopefully. I found that ending interesting because I remember when All In was first explained and the announcement of the Absolute stuff, Snyder gave this explanation of like the Absolute universe is, as we know, as it like showed, of like the universe formed by dark side energy. And like if normal Earth was well, the normal universe is Superman, right? And so I thought it was interesting to like that's kind of literal now than just the idea of how he pitched it all. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see like I am interested to see like what's going on with Superman. Like now he's taking his own step back, even in his own book now for Super.
Yeah,
or
Superboy
whatever.
Prime is the
Superboy
new
Prime,
Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I found that like I think that could be a cool concept to explore later of seeing Superman set up in that way. Like I'm curious if they're just gonna like revisit him in his own book, or if he's gonna like have his own miniseries or something where he's like explored in that way. Because I feel like there's something to be told there outside of what the next event's gonna be, which we know isn't gonna be until next year. So we'll see. Now with it being another Crisis, I don't know. I don't care that it's another Crisis. All I want is to be is a good event to enjoy. And so,
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? Are you excited? Did it leave you excited?
I'm excited. I mean, I think I have more tempered expectations at this point. I think all of the Absolute titles have been really good. And your first, I guess, continuity wide event, the Absolute Crisis or whatever, is kind of like your coming out for every single one of them. It's your Avengers 2012 kind of moment, right? So this, and then remember, this May is Absolute Catwoman and Absolute Green Arrow, right?
Mhm.
And now next month, or is it next month or this month, is Absolute Shazam.
Oh, and Superman. I think that's
yeah.
this month,
So
or maybe beginning next month. Actually, anyway,
there's reason to have well-tempered expectations going forward that DC is going to be putting out worthwhile stories, because even the bad books aren't bad books, if you get what I mean. Like there's no such thing as a bad story. Like I always tell everybody, try to find one good thing you could say about it,
right?
because there is definitely one good thing you could say about it.
Sure.
There's some things can't say, but other things can.
I like that sentiment a lot.
So I guess, yeah, I'm excited for the Absolute Crisis, but I just need it to be more thought out, and
Right.
because like if Absolute Martian Manhunter is a part of it, that has been a story that, like, if anybody here understands what's going on, like you're more than welcome. Like, because all I understand is sad man, divorced man, no, sad man, almost divorced man, sad man because job, and might be an alien, might be paranoid schizophrenia, because maybe he doesn't exist, and then he got it. Then all of a sudden, this guy's out here, and then like the art, was it who was on the art? Rodriguez, right?
I don't remember. I'm
But
with
Dennis Kemp, and
Right.
Yeah.
that is the most avant-garde and obscure book that I think I've ever picked up in my entire life. And to think that it's a DC book,
Yeah, I love that.
and they're ending it because they're going to do something they think is even weirder. Like, the only thing that I think that they've been given at that point is they're going like Justice League dark side of things. So like Absolute Swamp Thing, Absolute Constantine. I think like you could have something like they're moving to somewhere, and they're going to take another person in the DC universe, and they're going to take it and put their flair on it, and it's going to be fucking wondrous. I just don't know what they're going to do with Martian Manhunter when the Absolute Crisis happens. Especially because that's the only one that's really tying us to Darkseid is Absolute Martian Manhunter.
For sure.
It's such
Yeah. I just like how
a fucking trip, man.
It is. I don't know, like I'm just personally really happy like with where DC's at the moment. Like I think overall it's really solid. And so I'm just glad to see where it's all at. And I felt as if this event was like pretty solid. And so yeah. Troy, did you have any? I didn't ask you yet, did I?
I don't even know what the question was. I feel like I answered it maybe
I know.
earlier.
I was gonna say, did I begin with you about?
I think you began with me.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. There's
I was
all
gonna
great
say-
answers, and I genuinely could not remember.
But I was gonna say, I think what we've seen so far, we've seen everything really. I think through like what we know about DC, with like especially from KO, like we know this stuff. We know these characters. We know that stuff. And as we move, next level, they're gonna shake whatever up. Like Scott Snyder told, gosh, it's not Tim Seeley. What's the other guy? He did a book with Tim Seeley. That's why I always think of Tim Seeley. Tony Fleece. He told Tony Fleece, like, hey, I want you to approach some of these next level characters like you're writing your own original character, kind of like a creator-owned book. Like approach it as a creator-owned book. And so like for Tony
Tim Seeley
Fleece,
and Tony Fleece are working together again on a DC book?
They're not, but like when I can't think of Tony Fleece's
Oh.
name, I think of Tim Seeley, and I'm like,
Oh.
because like Local Man was so good, but
That's what I mean. I was like, whoa. I was like, you're telling me they're going to be able to make an original character in the DC universe, and like Local Man is fucking Crossjack.
yeah, no, I mean they're just turning Deathstroke into Local Man. No, but Tony Fleece is doing Deathstroke next level, which like I think is I'm excited for that because I love pretty much anything either of those guys do. But it's Tony Fleece. Tony Fleece is writing Deathstroke. And Tony Fleece said that Scott Snyder was like, I want you to approach this as like a creator-owned book. So like you can kind of like do what you kind of want with this character is what I took from it. So, and it's not inside the absolute universe. It's still inside our own pocket universe that we've been exploring in DCKO. So like they're trying new things there, but I feel like in the absolute universe, there's so many things like that we just don't know. And like that's what's really exciting about picking up Absolute Batman every week is like, what the fuck's going to happen with Poison Ivy or Deathstroke or whatever. So like as we build up into what's the next big thing or maybe the ending of the absolute universe, I feel like we're going to pull away a lot more from what happened in KO or like the universe in KO. And we're going to say, hey, maybe there's a lot less books happening in that side of it. Or maybe those things are like ending or on hiatus. And we're going to get a lot more one shots or a lot more content to kind of fill in for the absolute universe because those are going to sell if people are like, hey, I don't know anything about this version's absolute Star Sapphire or whatever. Let's give her a one shot and see how that's like. Yeah, they'll know they'll sell. And they know people will want to read those because you haven't had that yet before. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's the opportunity where it's like, hey, if you explain things properly, you give people more than 3 panels on some of these fights. Like learn whatever you're learning now from the non-absolute side of this. And then when you're like, hey, we're going to build up into an event that's happening just inside the absolute universe, that's going to make everything intersect or make something be really good to where they're now coming together and we're closing something out, then take those lessons and throw it into this. Because we could not have had a DCKO inside of the absolute universe because that's Darkseid's own universe. Could not have happened.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is when you actually like made me think of something when the absolute universe was first found, it was called the Alpha World. That's what when I think it was like when Flash was talking to someone. It was literally before Dawn of DC. Whatever was right before Dawn of DC. Infinite Frontier?
Sounds right.
There was a moment where they're talking about like, hey, there's a new world. It has no energy whatsoever, has no forces. Darkseid goes to that world and dumps his influence into that world. I think we now know the powers of the Alpha are with Doomsday. So I think Doomsday is going to become, I think this would probably be the most logical thing, is in order to strip away Doomsday, strip away Darkseid's influence from the absolute universe and to keep the absolute universe still a universe of strife and death and rebirth. Doomsday would be the orchestrating force behind the absolute universe. And Doomsday, because when Doomsday died and became the Time Trapper, the minute he comes back, he goes, if I die one more time, I'm becoming a god. Like, it's just now we have ended in this trajectory. And he died giving Clark his powers, but he died. So Doomsday could possibly either A, be brought back by Clark and given, the opportunity to be the thing that fights Darkseid and takes the influence away from the absolute, from, the Omega universe, gets the Alpha, becomes the Alpha world again. That's just where it felt like it was going in my head, but probably ain't going that way anymore. Superman's out here with like a weird ass crown being like, no more black heroes.
Wow. All right. All right, well, to wrap things up here, what about what's everyone's overall score for the event? I'll begin with you, Dan.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
What's the overall score for this event that you'd give?
Oh,
Overall
3
rating.
out of 5.
3 out of 5?
It's like solid 3 out of 5. I give it a 3 out of 5 because the diversity of writers and letterers and colorists for the tie-ins. But like then I knock off some points for like continuity and for the fact that the books are falling apart. That's pretty much 3 out of 5.
What about you, Troy?
It's probably also around a 3 or a 5. Like, it's definitely a fun read, and like, but I can't give it higher because I feel like a lot of things are being influenced by like the fact that we have the absolute universe. Like, if we didn't have the absolute universe and this was just going on, and you were like, "Hey, we're having this fight matchup, like a March Madness thing," like Will kind of said earlier, but I probably would rate it maybe a little bit lower. Like we'd have anything with Absolute Universe going on, but the fact that I could pick up Absolute Universe books in between this and like read those and be like, oh, this is connected to everything else. I feel like it makes me like it colors my opinions a little bit more of like, how is this impacting other stuff? And it's like when I read the Green Lantern like Galactic Slam one, like I was like excited to read those, but then when I was like, "Oh, this is what it is," okay, I'm not as excited. It doesn't really tie into anything else.
We're gonna give you the origin of Omega Man.
Yeah, which I'm like, hey, like this is a fun thing to do. Like I know Jeremy Adams is into wrestling, and like like he's like, I'll pitch an idea and see if it sticks, and if they say yes, great, and they did. So
he's obsessed with like Omega Man. Like he has there's like if you find his YouTube channel. There's like he has a thing where he's dressed as Omega Man doing a straight up shoot on somebody.
It's crazy.
It's some of the wildest shit I've ever seen, and like he pulled it up like maybe like last year or 2 years ago at Comic-Con, just held it up in front of me, and I was like, wow, holy fuck, this guy really loves the character he made, and this guy now has been in Green Lantern, right? Because he was in with Kyle Rayner. Right, and then
they did that.
He was traveling on the Interceptor.
Yeah,
and then he's back with them now, and then he was in The Flash with Jeremy Adams when him and Wally West become the tag team champions.
But yeah, anyways, like those are like fun stories, but like when you have a big event going on, you're like, okay, this feels like a little bit more distracting than like fun, and so like if you're as they kind of like feed into each other. It's more of like everything in the DCKO made me more excited for the absolute universe and what that meant. So if we didn't have the absolute universe, I probably would have ranked this a little bit lower unless they had changed the formatting to like what Will has said of like, hey, we're doing everything is just straight fights. There's no side stuff. It's all one new line. Then I would have been like, okay, like if every single week you're dropping just one fight that was against each other, and it goes on for however long. That would be the preferred method if we didn't have Absolute Universe. But because we have Absolute, 3 out of 5. Without Absolute, probably a bit lower.
All right. Will, what's your score?
I've been like sitting here like, how many books was it? How many did I really, really like? And doing math.
Right, that's fair. I mean, for us, since we read everything, like there's like a bunch of different scores you give of like the main event, I think was obviously like the big highlight, right? But then there's all these side stories of like, if you're talking about a whole, the side story is different, drag it down. But if you talk about the main meat, then I feel like that would be a bit higher than the other.
Yeah. Like if we're just going the main stuff, I want to give it a solid like 7 out of 10 sort of situation. Sure. Like not quite sure it stuck the landing for me. But I was really into, like we were talking about earlier, the individual fights, Red Hood getting his lick back on the Joker, Captain Atom and Superman, like all of those, Superman fusing with Shazam, all the crazy outside the box ideas that happen were really dope and amazing and love to see. When you got to cut in like what's going on with Bart Allen and like Galactic Slam and all these other things. I think that drags it down to maybe like a 5 out of 10 for me. It's like,
Sure.
again, it just felt a little laborious after a while of like, I'm reading this because it's part of the event, not because you really genuinely have captured my attention here.
Right.
I think when you called it homework, you nailed it.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I am in a very similar actually boat as you, Will, where my scores would be slightly more generous. Instead of a 7 and 5, I'd give it like an 8 and a 6. But like I'm in the same boat though, essentially, of where like I thought the main event itself was like it was a lot of fun. There's definitely things like we talked about, like it could have been tweaked a little bit, but I still enjoyed the story that we got overall though. I think maybe like just my biggest thing that I wish is I think DC's done a really good job of making a lot of events feel very like what I don't want to say one and done, like a nice rounded story on its own. This one I feel like kind of hinges on a bit of like what's to come. Like is it like yeah, it's a setup, but like it's still like very kind of open and a lot, of like we don't know exactly what's going on still with the whole like dark side thing, and so
Yeah, I think if you're a Superman fan, if you go, I'm gonna get into Superman comics, and next month you go and you're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like that's gonna be like that could be a thing. I could see that becoming, and that's why I think like comic books need to become more. I don't know, not like accessible, but like you guys saw the thing like Jim Lee said that like manga was just pulling ahead of Western comics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because of like the jump model, right? Like how you pick up like a big ass magazine and inside of it is the weekly chapter of whatever manga you follow. Right? The tit for tat is like the amount of time and effort that goes into manga almost dwarfs like comics, like or the other way around. Because like
Other way around. It
Yeah.
doesn't take
Yeah.
as long to make a manga as it does a comic.
Yeah.
yeah, but the fact is they're trained to do it so much quicker, right? So manga will come out weekly, but sometimes it'll look like it'll have no backgrounds. It'll have
Right.
barely anybody in the scene. You'll see people in a white void. But the steady amount of it that comes out is it pales in comparison. And it's weird how comics like the comics don't need to be in competition with manga, and I don't have to see it. You don't have to look at it that way to kind of see that it's a growing model that has to change. Comic book shops need a new way. If you're going to keep on going by like FOC and like making people go to the comic book store and pre-order books, and when you're a comic book store, because like that's the way that FOC works, right? Is like if your comic book store only reserves 5 books, you have to go there and go, hey, I would like to reserve a book, and then they have to go and go 6 books, please, and then that tells the publisher, oh, this book is in demand. We could tell DC that their book is selling. Like that's the only way that they judge success. If you guys remember iTunes, when the MP3 music was first coming out, the most successful band was Newfound Glory. They had no idea that they were the most successful band because their album came out the year that iTunes came out, and all of their money came from iTunes. So they were like, we're making so much money. How are we not on any of the billboards? Because at the time they only track CD sales. It's the same thing. They don't track digital. They don't track any of that anymore. It's all physical copies. You don't go to your local store and fight your local 55-year-old comic book shop owner for a copy. Like that's the thing. Like then you're not going to get your book. It's and most likely your book will get canceled, even if you have been buying it digitally for X amount of time, because the system is broken and there's no way that they're going to fix it, especially now that DC is bought by Paramount. we're all fucked.
Oh boy, yeah, all that you could do a whole other episode on just all that stuff alone. So much stuff that you could dive in there, and oh boy, I don't want to talk about that.
We'll cut that. Cut that. Put that in a short. Dan says we're all fucked.
We're all screwed. Anyway. Well, thank you all so much for coming by. This was fun. First time that I've ever done something like this. Hope to do more. Hope to see you all again. This was a lot of fun. It was awesome. Just one final round. Where can everybody find you all? Dan.
I'm Dan from Dan Exclaims. You can check me out on YouTube, TikTok, all everywhere. You'll see me using an animated guy. You won't see me.
And you're not AI, allegedly.
I'm not.
All right, Troy, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me talking about comic books at Bada Boom Podcast on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but I'm mostly hanging out at Blue Sirens Music on Threads and places like that.
Very cool. Will?
Go by Will Be Watching. I'm the editor-in-chief of blurredsideview.org, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows and all those things from melanated millennial point of view. I'm at Lore the Culture on all the socials. And anytime I'm signing off on something, I just like to say, remember to take 3 things everywhere. 1, your meds, 2, your PTO, and 3, a deep breath before you let that shit go.
I like it. Well, that'll do it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. This was a lot of fun, and see you all next time here at the Dingus Den. Laters, everybody. Bye.